it's just time for Sunny Kiss to stop fucking playing.
Wrestling has always been full of surprises, but did you know some of your favorite stars are part of the LGBTQ+ community? In today's video, we're revealing 20 wrestling icons you might not have known were gay. Get ready for some shocking revelations. New Jack, born Jerome Young on January 3, 1963, was a professional wrestler known for his work in ECW. He became famous for his hardcore wrestling style and controversial antics in the ring. There have been rumors surrounding New Jack's sexuality throughout his career, but he never publicly confirmed or discussed these rumors. New Jack's personal life was often shrouded in mystery, and much of the focus was on his aggressive wrestling persona. New Jack never openly came out as gay or made any public statements on his sexuality, leaving many of the rumors to remain unconfirmed. His legacy as a hardcore wrestler is unquestionable, but his private life remains a mystery, as he rarely discussed personal matters outside of the wrestling ring. Cliff Compton, born on October 5, 1980, in New York City, is a professional wrestler best known for his time in WWE and TNA, where he competed under the ring name Domino. Cliff Compton has not publicly identified as gay or part of the LGBTQ community, and there has been no information or statements from him regarding his sexuality. His public life has been largely focused on his wrestling career and later, acting. Devin Nicholson, born on January 22, 1984, is a Canadian professional wrestler best known for his work in WWE and the Canadian wrestling scene. Devin Nicholson has not publicly identified as gay, and there are no confirmed statements regarding his sexuality. Nicholson is known for his time as a performer and also as an advocate for health and wellness, but his sexual orientation has not been a central topic in public discussions about his career. Sarah Stock, also known by her ring name Sarita, is a Canadian professional wrestler who worked in TNA and AAA. Stock is known for her work as a multi-time tag team champion in TNA. Sarah Stock has not publicly identified as gay, and there is little information available about her sexuality. She has largely kept her personal life private, focusing primarily on her career as a wrestler and trainer. There have been no confirmed reports or public statements regarding her being part of the LGBTQ community. Lance Chung, known in the ring as Darren Chung, was a professional wrestler in the independent scene and worked for promotions like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla PWG and others. Lance Chung is openly gay and has been an advocate for LGBTQ visibility within the wrestling community. He has been vocal about his struggles with accepting his identity while working in a traditionally masculine and heteronormative industry. Chung came out publicly early in his career and has been committed to bringing attention to LGBTQ issues within professional wrestling. He has been one of the few openly gay wrestlers to speak openly about his experiences, often emphasizing the importance of being true to oneself. Mike Posey, born in 1981 in Alabama, is a former professional wrestler and referee who worked in promotions such as TNA Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor ROH. Mike Posey came out as gay after he left his wrestling career behind. He had wrestled for several years before publicly embracing his sexuality. Posey has been open about his journey of self-acceptance, sharing his experiences with fans through social media and interviews. Posey's coming out was a significant moment for him personally, as he had been wrestling in a traditionally hyper-masculine environment. After retiring from active wrestling, he became an advocate for LGBTQ rights in sports, speaking about the challenges of being a gay man in the wrestling industry. Chris Champion, born Christopher Ford on May 22, 1961, was a professional wrestler best known for his work in the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and WCW in the 1980s and early 1990s. He was part of the tag team The New Breed in NWA. Chris Champion was openly gay in his personal life, but he did not make a public statement regarding his sexuality during his wrestling career. Champion's personal life and his identity as a gay man became more public after his retirement from wrestling. Chris Champion came out after his time in the wrestling spotlight had passed, acknowledging the challenges he faced as an openly gay man in an industry known for its traditionally masculine image. His experiences helped challenge the stigma surrounding LGBTQ individuals in wrestling. Zita Zhang, born on December 24, 1992, in China, is a professional wrestler who has appeared in promotions like WWE, NXT, and AEW. She was a part of WWE's training system before stepping out into independent wrestling. Zita Zhang has publicly identified as part of the LGBTQ community, specifically as a bisexual woman. Her journey into professional wrestling and her identity as an LGBTQ individual has been part of a broader movement to challenge gender norms and stereotypes in wrestling. Zita Zhang came out publicly in a 2020 interview, stating that her experience in professional wrestling has been empowering. She also highlighted the importance of visibility for LGBTQ individuals, particularly for women, in the wrestling industry. Giselle Shaw is a Filipino-born professional wrestler who has worked in multiple promotions, including Impact Wrestling. Shaw is known for her work in both the women's and mixed-gender divisions. In 2021, Giselle Shaw publicly came out as a transgender woman, marking a groundbreaking moment for both the wrestling industry and the LGBTQ community. Her coming out was met with widespread support from fans and peers in the wrestling world. Giselle Shaw was one of the first openly transgender women to wrestle for a major North American wrestling company like Impact Wrestling, and she has used her platform to raise awareness about LGBTQ issues. Her journey to acceptance and visibility within the industry has been a source of inspiration. Billy Gunn, born Monty Kipsop on November 1, 1963, in Orlando, Florida, is one of wrestling's most iconic figures. Known for his time in WWE and later AEW, Gunn became famous as part of tag teams such as the New Age Outlaws and DXD Generation X during the 1990s and 2000s. There is no confirmation or public admission of Billy Gunn identifying as gay or being part of the LGBTQ community. Rumors about his sexuality have circulated for years, but Gunn has not openly discussed any personal LGBTQ identity, and he has generally kept his personal life private outside of his wrestling career. Tommaso Ciampa, born on May 8, 1985, in Boston, Massachusetts, is a prominent professional wrestler best known for his work in WWE NXT. He gained a reputation as a villainous character and was involved in major feuds that captivated wrestling audiences, particularly his long rivalry with Johnny Gargano. There have been no public statements from Ciampa confirming any LGBTQ identity. While some fans have speculated about his sexuality due to his nuanced character work, there is no indication that Ciampa identifies as gay or bisexual. The speculation likely stems from the progressive portrayals of sexuality within the wrestling industry, as some fans have started looking for representation in all wrestlers, even if it's not openly stated. As of now, Tommaso Ciampa has not publicly discussed his sexuality, and there is no confirmation or declaration from him about being part of the LGBTQ community. He continues to be regarded as one of the top performers in NXT, and has largely focused on his wrestling career and personal life without addressing rumors surrounding his sexual orientation. Stephanie McMahon is the daughter of Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, and has been a key figure in the company both on screen and behind the scenes. She is widely recognized for her character work as a powerful and often controversial on-screen authority figure. While there have been rumors about Stephanie McMahon's sexuality throughout the years, particularly about her possible bisexuality, she has never publicly confirmed or discussed these rumors. Much of this speculation likely stems from her often provocative storylines and interactions with other female characters on WWE television. As of now, there is no official statement from Stephanie McMahon regarding her sexuality. However, some fans have speculated about her identity based on her character work and personal interactions. Without confirmation from McMahon herself, this remains a rumor, and her public image largely centers on her professional wrestling legacy and role within WWE. Nikita Koloff, born Scott Simpson, is a retired professional wrestler, best known for his time in the National Wrestling Alliance NWA and World Championship Wrestling WCW in the 1980s. He was portrayed as a villainous Russian character, often involved in heated feuds with American heroes during the Cold War era. Though Koloff's personal life was kept relatively private during his wrestling career, he later revealed in interviews that he had struggled with his sexuality for much of his life. After retiring from wrestling, Koloff came out publicly as gay in the early 2000s. Koloff has stated that his decision to keep his sexuality private during his wrestling career was driven by the fear of being rejected by fans and the wrestling industry. Wrestling in the 80s was an especially conservative and hyper-masculine environment, and Koloff did not want to risk his popularity and career by revealing his true self. He now speaks openly about his sexuality and how he has become more comfortable with who he is. Koloff is a rare example of a wrestler from the 1980s who came out later in life, and his story highlights the evolving cultural acceptance of LGBTQ individuals in wrestling. Jake Atlas' real name. Kenny Marquez was born on January 4, 1994, in Los Angeles, California. He made a name for himself in Ring of Honor and WWE NXT, where he was known for his high-flying and athletic wrestling style. He is an openly gay wrestler in a sport often associated with traditionally masculine ideals. Jake Atlas came out publicly as gay in 2020 via an Instagram post. Prior to coming out, he had already earned a reputation as a skilled performer in the ring, but his decision to share his sexuality with his fans was a bold and important move. In an emotional and inspiring post, Atlas explained that he had spent years hiding his true self due to fear of judgment, especially in the hyper-masculine world of professional wrestling. His coming-out statement was widely praised for breaking barriers within wrestling and for offering a role model to LGBTQ fans. Jake Atlas coming out as a professional wrestler has been seen as a crucial moment in helping to normalize LGBTQ representation in the wrestling world, which has historically been slow to accept openly gay athletes. Hana Kimura was born on September 3, 1998, in Japan. She was a professional wrestler and reality TV star best known for her time in Stardom, one of Japan's premier women's wrestling promotions. She also gained attention through her appearance on the Japanese reality show Terrace House, where her personality and interactions with her housemates captivated the audience. Hana Kimura publicly identified as bisexual, though it was not widely discussed until after her tragic passing. In the years leading up to her death, Kimura was known for her advocacy for LGBTQ rights, though she kept her personal life relatively private in her early career. While Hana did not make an overt coming-out statement in the way some other wrestlers did, she was openly supportive of LGBTQ causes. In an Instagram post, she had referred to herself as bi, adding that her bisexuality was just one part of her identity. Tragically, she died by suicide on May 23, 2020, following online harassment, which raised awareness about the dangers of cyberbullying and the importance of supporting LGBTQ individuals. Her legacy as a bisexual athlete in Japan continues to inspire fans and wrestlers alike, despite the challenges she faced. Orlando Jordan, born on April 21, 1974, in New Orleans, Louisiana, is an American professional wrestler known for his work in WWE, TNA, and other promotions. Jordan's career included both singles and tag team success, and he became known for his charisma and athleticism. Orlando Jordan came out as bisexual in 2010 during a storyline with TNA Wrestling. This was a big moment, as Jordan had already been in the business for over a decade by that point and was widely considered a major talent. In a shocking and bold move, Orlando Jordan introduced his bisexuality as part of a storyline in TNA Wrestling. This was one of the first instances in wrestling history of a male wrestler openly addressing his sexuality as part of his wrestling persona. Jordan had always been aware of his sexuality, but he was hesitant to bring it up in the wrestling world, where sexual orientation was often viewed as irrelevant or a subject of ridicule. Once he decided to be open about it, he felt it was liberating, though it also brought its share of controversy. Jordan's openness has since paved the way for other LGBTQ wrestlers to feel more comfortable with their identities. Here's a closer look at the life stories and experiences of Hana Kimura, Jake Atlas, Nikita Koloff, Stephanie McMahon rumored, and Tommaso Ciampa regarding their sexuality. Pat Patterson, born Pierre Claremont on January 19, 1941, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, was a pioneering figure in the world of professional wrestling. He was one of the first openly gay wrestling personalities, and his career spanned several decades. Patterson was a major figure in WWE's early years and contributed to the creative direction of many storylines. Pat Patterson kept his sexuality a secret for much of his life, due to the stigma against homosexuality in professional wrestling and in general. However, over time, as he became a legend in the industry and after his retirement, Patterson grew more comfortable with his identity. Pat Patterson came out as gay publicly in his 2016 autobiography, Accepted, How the first gay superstar changed WWE. He described the internal conflict and challenges of keeping his sexuality a secret in a profession that was often dominated by hyper-masculine ideals. Patterson noted that being openly gay in an era when it was taboo was a major act of courage. He passed away in 2020, but his coming out was seen as an inspiring example of breaking barriers. Sonny Kiss, born August 11, 1992, in New Jersey, is an openly gay professional wrestler and dancer, currently signed to AEW. Known for their charismatic personality, Kiss blends athleticism with flamboyant and theatrical elements in their wrestling style. Sonny Kiss came out as gay at a young age, embracing their identity as part of their overall persona in wrestling. Growing up, Kiss faced struggles with their gender identity and sexual orientation, especially within the conservative world of professional wrestling. However, Kiss used those struggles to inform their wrestling persona, creating a character that challenges traditional gender norms. Sonny's coming out was less about a specific public announcement and more about being unapologetically themselves both in and out of the ring. Known for their confidence and boldness, Kiss has used their platform to advocate for LGBTQ acceptance and visibility, often bringing attention to how queer identities are often overlooked in sports and entertainment. Anthony Bowens, born on December 18, 1992, in New York, is a current AEW wrestler who gained fame as part of the tag team The Acclaimed alongside Max Caster. Bowens' career skyrocketed in AEW, where he became an integral part of the promotion's tag team division. Anthony Bowens came out publicly as gay in 2021 during an Instagram post, which he later discussed in interviews. Bowens had already been grappling with his identity for years, but kept his sexuality private to avoid potential backlash in a business known for its hyper-masculine stereotypes. He stated that he had feared how it would affect his career. In an emotional Instagram post, Bowens shared that his decision to come out was both freeing and empowering. He thanked fans for their support and expressed the desire to be a role model for others in similar situations. His coming out has been significant not just for AEW, but for the wrestling world as a whole. Since coming out, Bowens has become an advocate for LGBTQ representation in professional wrestling. Darren Young, born Fred Rosser on November 2, 1983, in Union, New Jersey, was a WWE superstar known for his time as part of the tag team Primetime Players. Young had a long wrestling career before he came out publicly. Darren Young made history in 2013 when he became the first openly gay WWE wrestler. At the time, he was actively wrestling with the WWE and had been in the business for years. The decision to come out was a significant and courageous moment for both him and the wrestling industry, which traditionally has been seen as very conservative and masculine. In an interview with TMZ, Darren Young revealed that he was gay, after being asked directly about his sexuality. He stated, "I'm happy I can be a role model and show the world that it's okay to be who you are." His coming out was groundbreaking because of the lack of openly LGBTQ wrestlers at the time. Darren Young's decision to publicly embrace his identity was a pivotal moment in sports entertainment, and it was widely praised by fans and other athletes.